Are you still translating every word in your head before speaking English? That's why you feel slow. Today, I'll show you the secret to think directly in English. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Soulful English. We're so excited to have you here with us today. If you're someone who struggles with thinking in English, then this episode is just for you. That's right. Have you ever found yourself translating every word in your head before speaking? It slows you down, right? Exactly. Many English learners face this problem. They think in their native language first, then try to translate into English. And by the time they're ready to speak, the moment has already passed. But don't worry. In today's episode, we're going to show you how to train your brain to think directly in English, just like a native speaker. And trust me, once you start thinking in English, everything becomes easier. Speaking, listening, even writing. You'll discover that fluency grows naturally with less effort every single day. So if you've ever wondered how to stop translating and start thinking in English naturally, stay with us because we've got some powerful techniques to share. Let's dive in. All right, Clara. Let's start with the big question. Why is thinking in English so important for learners who want to become fluent? Great question, Ethan. The truth is, if you always think in your native language first and then translate, you'll never be able to speak fluently or naturally. Exactly. It creates a delay because your brain is working twice as hard. First, it forms a sentence in your native language. Then it tries to find the right English words. And sometimes the translation doesn't even make sense. Like if someone translates, I am cold, word for word. They might say, I have cold, which sounds unnatural in English. Right. And that's why thinking in English helps so much. It trains your brain to form sentences the way native speakers do without getting stuck on translation. And let's talk about confidence. When you start thinking in English, you feel more confident because words come to you faster, and you respond naturally without hesitation. No more pausing for long seconds to translate in your head. Another big reason is that it improves your listening skills because your brain processes conversations faster. That's so true, and not just in conversations. Even when you're watching movies or listening to music, you start recognizing words instantly instead of translating everything word by word. And Clara, let's not forget that thinking in English also helps with pronunciation, because when you think in English, you start hearing the sounds in your head like native speakers. This helps with speaking clearly. So just to summarize, thinking in English helps you speak faster, boosts confidence, improves listening skills, and even makes your pronunciation better. And now you might be wondering, okay, I get why it's important, but how do I actually train my brain to think in English effectively and naturally? Don't worry, we're going to break it down step by step. But before that, let's talk about some common mistakes that stop people from thinking in English consistently. Now that we understand why thinking in English is so important, let's talk about something that holds people back. Common mistakes that stop learners from training their brain effectively. Yes, many learners don't even realize they're making these mistakes. But once you fix them, you'll notice a big improvement in your fluency and overall English confidence. All right, mistake number one, the biggest one, relying too much on translation. If you always translate in your head before speaking, your brain never gets used to English directly. Exactly. It's like riding a bike with training wheels forever. You need to trust your brain to form sentences naturally instead of always looking for the right translation. And Clara, another common mistake is focusing too much on grammar while thinking. Many learners try to make every sentence perfect in their mind before speaking, but that slows them down. Oh yes, grammar is important, but if you keep stopping to check every little rule, you'll never speak naturally. Native speakers don't think about grammar rules while talking. Right, exactly. they just speak. And guess what? Even native speakers make grammar mistakes sometimes. That's so true, and learners shouldn't let perfection stop them from speaking. Okay? Mistake number 3, fear of making mistakes. Some people are so afraid of saying something wrong that they stop themselves from thinking or speaking in English completely. Right. But making mistakes is how we learn. The more you practice thinking in English, the better you'll get. Don't be afraid to sound imperfect. Fluency comes with practice, not perfection. Absolutely. And another mistake that blocks thinking in English is not surrounding yourself with English. If your daily life is full of your native language, your brain defaults to it. Great point. If you only use English in a classroom or for studying, but not in daily life, your brain won't switch to English naturally and fluency will feel slower. And that's why immersion is so important. Things like listening to English music, watching English videos, and reading in English help you surround yourself and train your brain effectively. Exactly. Okay, let's quickly recap. The biggest mistakes are relying too much on translation, overthinking grammar, fear of mistakes, and not surrounding yourself with enough English. If you're making any of these mistakes, don't worry. The good news is we're going to show you how to fix them and start building fluency much faster. Yes. Up next, we'll share some powerful step-by-step strategies to help you start thinking in English naturally and confidently, without falling back into constant translation. All right, Clara, now it's time for the most important part. How can learners actually train their brain to think in English effectively? Yes, we're going to break it down into simple, powerful steps that anyone can follow. Perfect. Let's start with step 1. Name things around you in English. Oh, I love this one. It's such an easy habit to build. Just look around you and say the names of objects in English as you notice them. For example, if you're in your room, think bed, window, lamp, phone, and to take it further, you can describe what's happening using simple English sentences naturally. Instead of just thinking, cup, you can think, I am drinking coffee from my cup. This helps your brain connect everyday life with English over time. All right, step 2. Talk to yourself in English. It might feel strange at first, but it's one of the best ways to start thinking in English naturally. Yes, you can do this anywhere. While cooking, getting dressed, or walking outside, just describe what you're doing in simple English sentences like, I'm putting on my shoes. It's a sunny day, and the great thing is, there's no pressure because you're just talking to yourself. Exactly. And if you're worried about mistakes, don't be. No one is listening. It's just you training your brain to use English naturally. Great. Now step 3. Use an English to English dictionary whenever possible. Oh, this is a game changer. Many learners still use dictionaries that translate into their native language. But switching to English helps you think in English directly. For example, if you don't know the word excited, instead of translating it, look it up in an English dictionary where it says, feeling very happy and eager. That way, your brain connects words in English, not another language. Exactly. And it improves your vocabulary naturally. All right. Next step 4. Think in simple sentences first. Yes. Many learners try to think in complex sentences too soon, and that makes them feel stuck. Instead, start with short, simple thoughts and build up later. Like instead of thinking, I should go to the store because I need to buy some vegetables for dinner, just start with, I need vegetables. Yes, once you get comfortable, your sentences will naturally get longer over time. All right, let's move on to step 5. Have an English inner voice. Oh, I love this one. Instead of thinking in your native language, try to have a little conversation in English in your head during the day. For example, if you're planning your day, think, what should I do first? Maybe I'll start with breakfast. This turns your thoughts into an English dialogue. It's one of the fastest ways to start thinking in English without effort. You can even ask yourself questions like, how do I feel today? Or, what should I wear? That's a great habit. And finally, step 6, surround yourself with English. The more you expose yourself to English, the more natural it becomes daily. Listen to English podcasts, watch English videos, and read books or articles in English. The more English you hear, the more your brain starts thinking in English automatically. So let's quickly recap the 6 steps to train your brain. 1. Name things around you. 2. Talk to yourself. 3. Use an English dictionary. 4. Think in simple sentences. 5. Have an inner voice. 6. Surround yourself with English. These steps will help you stop translating and start thinking in English naturally. Yes, and the best part is, you can start practicing these today. Up next, we'll talk about daily exercises you can do to make thinking in English a permanent habit. All right, Clara, we've talked about strategies to start thinking in English. But now, let's take it one step further. How can learners practice this every day? Yes, because just knowing the techniques isn't enough. You need to practice consistently to train your brain to think in English naturally and build the habit. Exactly. So let's share some simple daily exercises that will help learners develop this skill. First, start and end your day with English thoughts. The moment you wake up, try to describe your plans for the day in English, instead of thinking in your native language. Form your first thoughts in English. Say in your mind, today is Monday. I have a meeting at 10 o'clock a.m. I will have lunch with my friend. This makes English your morning habit. And at night, do the same. Review your day in English before sleeping. Think, what did I do today? Did I enjoy it? How do I feel now? This helps your brain switch to English mode at the beginning and end of the day, which reinforces the habit naturally and builds fluency over time. The second daily practice, set a no translation rule for at least 30 minutes a day. Oh, I love this one. It's powerful and simple. For those 30 minutes, challenge yourself to only think in English with no translating allowed. Yes, it might be difficult at first, but just try. Even if you struggle, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Next, try to talk to yourself in English out loud for a few minutes every day. Right, just like we mentioned earlier. Describe what you're doing. Say, I'm making tea. It smells so good. I will drink it while reading a book. The key is to make English part of your daily routine even if no one is around to listen. Exactly. It's practice without pressure or fear. Another great way to practice, use English while doing simple activities like cooking, driving, or exercising. Yes, instead of letting your mind wander, focus on English thoughts. If you're going for a walk, you can think, the weather is nice today, the sky is blue, I feel relaxed. These small practices strengthen your habit. And finally, keep a simple English journal. Write down your thoughts, what happened during your day, or even your goals in English without worrying too much about grammar. This is a great way to track your progress. Don't focus on mistakes. Just focus on expressing yourself in English and watch your writing flow improve naturally. All right, let's quickly summarize these daily exercises. 1. Start and end your day in English. 2. Set a no translation rule. 3. Talk aloud. 4. Use English during simple activities. 5. Keep an English journal. If you do these exercises every day, thinking in English will become automatic over time. That's right. Up next, we'll talk about how to stay motivated and consistent in your English thinking practice, even when challenges appear along the way. All right, Clara, we've talked about how to practice thinking in English every day. But let's be honest, learners will face challenges along the way. Absolutely. It's normal to struggle, but the key is to overcome these challenges instead of giving up. So let's go over 3 common challenges and solutions. One of the biggest struggles is that learners naturally think in their native language first, then they try to translate into English, which slows everything down. Yes, and the solution is to be patient and practice small English thoughts first, instead of full sentences. Start with just words or short phrases daily. Right. And using an English to English dictionary instead of translating words can also help your brain stay in English mode and avoid slipping back into translation. Another challenge is feeling stuck because you don't know the right words. This can be frustrating, and many learners lose confidence when they face this situation. It happens to everyone, but instead of stopping, try to describe the word with simple English. For example, refrigerator can be a cold box where I keep food. That's a great tip. The goal is to keep thinking in English even when you don't know every word. Use creativity and simple explanations to stay fluent. Now, this one is tough. Many learners feel like they're not making progress and they lose motivation. Yes, but the truth is, progress is slow. You might not notice it right away. The best solution is to track your progress. Exactly. Keep a small journal, record your voice, or practice in front of a mirror. A few weeks later, you'll see the difference. The most important thing is to stay patient and keep going. Thinking in English is a skill that takes time. That's right. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Just keep practicing, and soon, English thinking will feel natural, automatic, and much easier than constant translation. Wow, Clara, we've covered so many great strategies today. Thinking in English is a journey, but with the right mindset and daily practice, anyone can do it. Absolutely. Remember, start small, be consistent, and don't be afraid of mistakes. The more you practice, the easier it will become, and the more confident you'll feel. Now, to all our listeners, what's one tip from today's episode that you're going to try first? Let us know in the comments or share your experience. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast for more English learning tips every single week. Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, happy learning and may your English journey be successful.